everybody, I'm Joey.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are reviewing a kind of a passion project from Kickstarter.
It's a good one too.
It is, and it is Academy, the West Point board game.
Here it is, right here.
So right here, it is, when you look at the Kickstarter, you kind of see this is a passion project, obviously, about West Point, but it is a worker placement style game. So before we get to exactly what we thought about it, let's see how it's played.
Let's.
Okay, we are set up for a 2-player game now of Academy. The setup is different between 2, 3, and 4 players, but this is set up for 2 players. At its core, this is a worker placement game. It's played over 4 rounds, and it is won by victory points here at the bottom. It's very simple. The rounds here are going to have different events that give variation each round. It says for the first year or round, you are not going to use any event for your first game. Otherwise, you're going to have different events like treat 1 as 3s, and all of these add some variation throughout the game. So we've got 2 players here. Like I mentioned, every player is going to have 2 military cards, 2 academic, and 2 physical. These are of the 3 pillars right here. So here are the phases that takes place. Competition setup, and that's to put forth all of these cards where the competitions will take place. Then you've got cadet placement, competitions, and cleanup. So first off, cadet placement, like any worker placement, you're going to place your worker anywhere you want to. If you decide to go on this area here, it's a +3. First person to go there will then get 3 physical cards. This is called the training area. Then you're going to place over here. Say I want to compete in military right here. I will place here. First cadet to go here gets a star of victory point. So that will be my first victory point. Move the blue up 1. Knock everything else over because that's how I roll. And then you're going to keep placing all your different cadets, either getting training cards or getting ready for the competition phase, which is next. So let's fast forward a bit and let's say this is a situation and there's going to be a competition here in the military pillar. How would that take place? Everyone would look at their cards and you can play up to 3 cards of military. So I will play, let's see, these 2, and the blue player will play these 2. So you place them face down and then you flip, turn over, and who has won? We've got 6 points over here and 4 points over here. Now again, these have values at the top and they also have actions where later you can actually play these and discard them for a certain action. So 6, 2, 4, and the blue player would win. You would look at this card to see what you'd win. First place, you're going to get 4 victory points. And second place, you're going to get 2 cards of whatever pillar you would like. So first player went to blue. So we're going to go ahead and move up 1, 2, 3, 4. And if the setup was like this for the next round, then this guy would happen to maybe want some academic cards or take 2 of those. And you're going to continue that. You're going to finish everywhere you've got all the competitions. You're going to go to cleanup, and then you're going to go to year 2, move the pawn here, and go on through. And at the end of 4 years, you're going to count up victory points, and whoever has the most victory points is the winner. And that is, in a nutshell, how you play Academy. Let's send it back and see what we thought about it. Okay, so that is how you play Academy, the West Point board game.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a very, very basic introduction worker placement board game.
Right, and that's the thing, when you say basic introduction, immediately a lot of gamers tune out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's not a lot going on here. It's very simple. You can get it to the table. It is almost a beer and pretzel style game.
Correct, and I do appreciate how it's worker placement too. It's one of those games where I know it's meant for people who have like that West Point military kind of connection, but if you're trying to introduce the concept of worker placement to someone who's never played it before, this would be the perfect game for them because like I said, it's purely worker placement. Your character doesn't have like extra powers or extra benefits or anything. At its core, it's worker placement. And that's a concept that sometimes you need to introduce to people before you can, jump into other stuff. This would be the game for that.
And it's funny, after playing this, I realized how few kind of beginner worker placement games there are out there.
Right.
Because I mean, and I got to give them respect in the fact that they wanted to make something that kind of had the West Point feel.
Yes.
It kind of let people know whether they went to the academy or whether they're curious about the military academy, things like that, some tongue-in-cheek references. And they decided to go worker placement.
Yeah.
They could have easily went to West Pointopoly.
Easily, yes,
they could have
exactly.
went to Roll and Move, which everybody always does.
Correct.
But they decided to go to worker placement.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I have to give them credit for.
It was genius. I loved how they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they interview, I mean, it's very simple. Like I
Yeah.
said, worker placement, but it also introduces things like blocking and all that. And it's really, it's beer and pretzels. It's simple, but I think it's made to be where you can play the game while talking.
Yeah.
Which is the way it is.
And I like how the cards have like little comments or little phrases at the bottom of that to kind of, bring that West Point spirit into the game as you're playing along to it.
Yeah, and at the end there's a glossary that tells you, because you'll read this, like we did not go to West Point.
Surprise.
But at the end there's this glossary that tells you kind of what they're talking about throughout the game.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting game. Again, very simple to play and enjoyable. The iconography is great.
Yep. Absolutely.
The theme is great.
Yes.
The artwork is great. It fits right into it.
I was going to say another thing that I really liked about this game is that the rulebook is very simple, and there's also a video too. So like I said, for new gamers, this game really makes it very easy. They knew what their target audience was, and they hit it perfectly.
And I think what I like about this game most is it doesn't do anything new mechanic-wise. It just doesn't. It's very simple, but what I do like is that they used an IP that's not really used.
Yeah.
I mean, everything out there is licensed by Marvel, Disney, DC, whatever.
Yeah.
This is licensed by West Point. And they decided to go to a new type of to do a starter worker placement game. So that right there I really appreciate, and I appreciate they took that jump into it.
Yes.
So everything taken all into account.
Yeah.
What do you think? What would you give it?
I'd give this a 6.
I would be right there. I'd give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I think they did a fantastic job with this game. They knew who their audience was. They knew what to do. They did a great job executing. I also like how you have the little meeples too. They're not just regular meeples. They're like little West Point graduate meeples.
Yes.
Yeah, cadet meeples. That's what I'm looking for.
Cadet.
Yeah.
It's a very fun game. It's fun to play. It'll hit the table very quickly.
Yeah.
It'll introduce people to worker placement.
Yeah, easy to set up to and easy to pack down. Just easy to hit the table.
Yep. Okay, so that is Academy, the West Point board game.
Yep.
All right. Oh,
Here
there
it
it is.
is.
There
Here
it
it
is.
is.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.